Okay, so Insta360 just released two new action cameras. One is the Ace and the other is the Ace Pro. Now one's a base model and one is obviously their Pro model. Now they were released yesterday and I watched a ton of review videos from influencers who are very quick to jump on the bandwagon and tell us all the wonderful things about this camera system. But as a longtime action camera user and as someone who has been using Insta360 products since way back with the Insta360 One 360 camera, I watched all those review videos and, I came up with some concerns. Now, it's obviously a great camera system, has a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of features, but there are some concerns. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Mike, this is Low Def Media, and like the intro said, today we're going to be talking about Insta360's most recent camera release. Now, they released two cameras. They released the Ace and the Ace Pro. One is obviously the base model and one is their more upgraded model. And I watched a lot of review videos and I even watched the release video. And so when you see a bunch of review videos, you kind of see the same thing over and over again. And there was kind of like a theme. There were 5 things that I believe are concerns that weren't really addressed during the reviews. For transparency, I love Insta360. I've got the Insta360 Flow right over here. I've got the Insta360 One X2 here. Back over there on the shelf, I've got the Insta360 One, and I've got the Insta360 Go 2 right over there. And so I love Insta360 products. So this is by no means bashing them or their company. This is simply an observation of what I noticed when I watched all these videos. So let's get through them real quick. And as always, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you agree, disagree, if you have different thoughts, and if this is a camera that you might be interested in picking up. All right, so the first thing. So when I watched all the review videos, all the content creators, all the influencers were very deliberate in that they only reviewed the Ace Pro. I didn't see a single one of those creators say anything. They don't have that unit, I'm sure. They don't have the Ace, the base model. I'm sure they were only given, a demo version of the Ace Pro. But still, none of them mentioned the Ace model. And I looked it up. It's got a lot of the same specs that the Pro has, minus the Leica lens. But it has the same internal stuff, has the same flip-up screen. It has the same, features inside. Frame rates, resolutions. And so the only thing that I can really justify that or the only way I can make that make sense is that they didn't talk about it because I would say it's 90% as good as the Ace Pro and it's less expensive. So take that for what you will, but nobody talked about it and it's hard pressed to find a lot of data about it, even on the Insta360 website. I mean, you see some, but they're really pushing the Ace Pro hard, and that's because it's got the higher price point, and that's going to be, their flagship action camera. All right, number 2, the external audio. Now, I know that action cameras have the ability to use external audio. Now, the GoPro requires a little dongle, like this. And so you got to have this thing connected. And then DJI, they've worked it out to where you can plug the external audio directly into their device. They can even use the DJI mic system. So we know that action cameras have that capability, but nobody talked about it. Nobody mentioned external audio or gave a demo of external audio with the Ace Pro. So for me, that's kind of a concern because that's a big thing. If you're going to be doing vlogs like this, and I routinely use my GoPro or my Insta360 X1X2, and I'll use external audio for those. And so that's important to me as a content creator. So I'm surprised nobody talked about that. All right, now the third thing is that flip up screen in the back. Now that's a great feature. Okay, I've got my Canon here, G7X Mark III. It's got a flip up screen, it's touchscreen, and so I know the value of that screen. But I'll also tell you, this is not an action cam. And so I'm not going to be putting this in places where I would put an action camera. Some of the clips showed people putting it on their bikes and having the screen flipped up, or being out and using it as a tripod. You know, like you open up the touchscreen on the back and you kind of use it to prop it up. Now, that sounds great, but that's just one more thing dangling off of your camera to break. And it doesn't look like it's one of those things where you can just buy a replacement part and clip it back on. You're going to have to send that back to the manufacturer, and that's probably going to cost a lot of money. So I don't see that as being as much of a benefit as it is a liability. It's very similar to the Go 3, but the difference is you take the camera out in most cases to use it that way. If you're going to use it as an action camera, the body looks a little different, and so I wouldn't use the Go 3 in the same way that I would use the Ace Pro. But only time will tell. People will start giving us feedback and letting us know if that door has become more of a liability than a benefit. Now, speaking of things breaking, the lens that's on the Ace Pro is like a lens. And similarly, on the Ace, there is a lens cover. I saw videos that said that it's removable. And then I saw videos that said they were not removable. And so we need Insta360 to kind of come out and definitively say whether or not you can take off that lens cover and replace it should it become scratched or cracked. Because if it's one thing GoPro learned with the release of their GoPro Hero 8 is that we want lenses that can pop off and that we can replace. I mean, look at the DJI series. They do that. Even Insta360's Go series has a lens cover that you can unscrew. Now, on their X series, I mean, we've all seen the videos. If you scratch this, you have to send the whole unit back to get fixed. It's not replaceable. So we know the pain, and so we need Insta360 to come out and tell us, can you replace it or not? Does it come off? Does it not come off? All right, and then lastly, software. Now, there is a lot of artificial intelligence, AI, built into the Ace Pro. And it's doing a lot of processing inside that allows you to manipulate your videos, to pause, to restart, to add clips to existing videos, and do a lot of things in camera that used to you would have to do either on your computer or on your cell phone. All that processing going on, to me, is a concern. Because we saw with the GoPro Hero 9 that when you ask it to do a lot, sometimes it can lock up, freeze, drop clips. Sometimes the audio won't work. There are a lot of things, potential things that can go wrong. And so I'm very interested to see how that's going to pan out long term and to see if that becomes an issue. So, hey, those are my 5 things in regards to the Insta360 Ace and Ace Pro release yesterday. But like I said, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with these points? Do you think they're not really concerns at all? Are you interested in buying this camera? Or are you like me, perfectly fine with your GoPro or DJI Osmo Action? So hey, let me know down in the comments. And if this is the kind of content you like to watch, hey, become a subscriber if you haven't done so already. And then click that little notification bell so that you can be notified when the next video drops. So, hey, this is Mike saying happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you in the next one.